Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Shri Radha Madhav Astasaki ki jai, Shri Pancha Tattva ki jai, Shri Nitai Padakamalam ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. Glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 8th Canto, Chapter 3, entitled Gajendra's Prayers of Surrender, text number 16. Just a moment. Gunarani chana sit usmapaya Tatksobha vispurjita manasaya Naiskarmya bhavena vivarjita gama Swayam prakasaya namaskaromi Gunaranichana chidusmapaya Tatksobhas vispurjita manasaya Naiskarmya bhavena vivarjita gama Swayam prakashaya namaskaromi Gunaranichana sidusmapaya Tatksoba Vispurjita Manasaya Naiskarmya Bhavena Vivajita Gama Swaram Swayam Prakasaya Namaskarumi. Ladies. By the three gunas, the modes of material nature, sattva, rajas and tamas. Arani, by Arani wood, chana, covered, chit, of knowledge, usmapaya, unto he whose fire, tatksoba, of the agitation of the modes of material nature, vispurjita, outside, manasaya, unto he whose mind, naiskarmya, bhavena, because of the stage of spiritual understanding. Vivarjita, in those who give up agama, Vedic principles, swayam, personally, prakashaya, unto he who is manifest. Namakaromi, I offer my respectful obeisances. Translation. My Lord, as the fire in Arani wood is covered, you and your unlimited knowledge are covered by the material modes of nature. Your mind, however, is not attentive to the activities of the modes of nature. Those who are advanced in spiritual knowledge are not subject to the regulative principles directed in the Vedic literature, because such advanced souls are transcendental. You personally appear in their pure minds. Therefore, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Purport. In Bhagavad Gita 10:11 it is said, Tesam evanukam partam aham agyanajam tamaha nasyami atmabhavasto jnanadipena basvataha. For a devotee who has taken the lotus feet of the Lord within his heart, the Lord gives spiritual enlightenment, known as Jnana-dipa, by special mercy from within. This Jnana-dipa is compared to the fire hidden within Arani wood. To perform fire sacrifices, great sages previously did not ignite a fire directly. The fire would be invoked from Arani wood. Similarly, all living entities are covered by the modes of material nature, and the fire of knowledge can be ignited only by the Supreme Personality of Godhead when one takes Him within one's heart. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayo. If one takes seriously the lotus feet of Krishna, who is seated within one's heart, the Lord eradicates all ignorance. By the torch of knowledge, one immediately understands everything properly by the special mercy of the Supreme Lord, and becomes self-realized. In other words, although a devotee may externally not be very well educated, because of his devotional service, the Supreme Personality of Godhead gives him enlightenment from within. If the Lord gives enlightenment from within, how can one be in ignorance? Therefore the allegation of the Mayavadis that the devotional path is for the unintelligent or uneducated is untrue. Yes, yasti bhaktir bhagavati akinchana savir gunais tata samasate sara. Bhagavatam 5:18-12. If one becomes an unalloyed devotee of the Supreme Lord, he automatically manifests all good qualities. Such a devotee is above the instructions of the Vedas. He is a Paramahansa. Even without going through the Vedic literatures, a devotee becomes pure and enlightened by the mercy of the Lord. Therefore, my Lord, the devotee says, I offer my respectful obeisances unto you. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnanandana Salakaya Saksurun Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Pada Kamalam Sri Gurun Vaisnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunatan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Srivisakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kansana Gaurangi Radhe Vindavaneswari Visabhana Sutta Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatrubhyacha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaisnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So it's at the end of the purport it is mentioned that if one becomes an unalloyed devotee of the Supreme Lord, he automatically manifests all good qualities And such a devotee is above the instructions of the Vedas. He is a Paramahansa. So I was thinking about the writings of Kavi Karnapur, who writes in the Chaitanya Chandradoy Natak, which is referred to in Chaitanya Charitamrita as an authorized biography of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this point is coming up, and there it is said, that if you don't follow the path of the Vedic injunctions, of the rules and regulations, then you cannot expect a very good result. But then the Vaishnava was arguing and said, no. It said, it is in one condition that one need not follow the path and can very quickly attain the destination. That is in the case of a flood. Because when there's a flood, we don't have to go by the road. We just take a boat and we go straight to another point, whereas the road may zigzag, so the boat is even faster. So in this way, Kavi Karnapur is saying, when the heart is flooded with Krishna, then we are not bound by rules and regulations. Because then we will always be focused on Krishna and never engage in sinful activities. So this is very nice. Then earlier in the purport, Srila Prabhupada is speaking about, is connecting the Bhagavad Gita verse, Te sam evanukam partam aham agyana jam tamaha nasyami atma bhavastu jnana dipena bhavitaha. That by the jnana dipa, by the torchlight of knowledge, I will enlighten my devotee. And then in this Bhagavatam verse, we're speaking about as the fire in Arani wood, which the sages were using to light the sacrificial fire. And in that way, the unlimited knowledge of the Lord is covered by the modes of nature, but can be brought back out. And here Srila Prabhupada speaks about the Jnana Dipa, the fire of transcendental knowledge. And he says that we must simply then, this can be ignited within the heart only by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And therefore one must take the Lord within the heart. So, how to take the Lord within the heart? I said, I've been trying for so many years. I've been trying through chanting the holy name. I've been trying by putting my nose on the ground again and again, taking only Krishna Prasadam, but the Lord in the heart seems to be so difficult. Again then, going back to Kavi Karnapur's Chaitanya Chandradoy Natak, I'm remembering that Kavi Karnapur was saying that the mercy of the Lord appears in three ways. Namely, by the Lord's personal appearance. Well, that didn't happen to me. Then the mercy of the Lord appears by the Lord manifesting within the heart. That didn't happen to me. Then what? And then the third way was by the Lord appearing in our thought. I thought, that's possible. That's possible. That can be done even by us, residents of this age of Kali. Even we can, somehow or other, the Lord can appear in our thoughts. Not because we want to, but just because of Srila Prabhupada's continuous hammering technique, right? Prabhupada said, just like karate, I just hit on the same spot again and again until they crack. Right? So in this way, Prabhupada keeps on repeating various arguments,
keeps on describing the Supreme Personality of Godhead consistently, points at Krishna, and that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And if somehow or other we have the good fortune of connecting with Srila Prabhupada, then it will happen, for sure. Krishna will appear in our thoughts. So that is our good fortune, because once Krishna appears in the thoughts, from the thoughts he appears within the heart. Because we also find in Chaitanya Charitamrita how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is describing that he says, for people in general, whatever is in their thoughts and whatever is in their hearts is the same, he's saying. And he says, and because I always think of you, therefore my heart is Vrindavan, and my mind is also Vrindavan. So, since you like Vrindavan, could you please put your lotus feet there, speaking in the mood of Radharani to Krishna. Anyway, so heart and thoughts are the same. So, by Krishna appearing in our thoughts, then automatically Krishna will appear within the heart. And it's very simple. So we know that in chanting the holy name of the Lord and also in hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, the essence is the ear. The essence is to hear. When we're chanting, the essence is to hear ourselves chanting. When we are sitting in the Bhagavatam class, the essence is to actually hear. And in this way, Krishna enters into our minds, into our thinking. And thinking, feeling and willing are the functions of the mind. So, when thinking is of the Supreme Lord, then also feeling and willing will become aligned with the Supreme Lord. And our faith will become established in the Supreme Lord. It is said that the Jiva Goswami is pointing out that sometimes the impersonalists, the Mayavadis, they also take up pure devotional service, the process of pure devotional service. However, because they have no faith in devotional service, therefore, sooner or later, they'll become disrespectful. And as a result, committing offenses, and as a result, they cannot remain in devotional service. So this is an interesting point. That when one has faith, then Krishna can remain in the heart. So by hearing about Krishna, we naturally develop faith. Sada sabda vishwa kahe sudrida nischay Krishna bhakti koila sarva karma krita hoy. Faith is defined by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as the firm conviction that by devotional service to Krishna, all good will be attained. And that is the point, that all good will be attained from devotional service and not from any other activity. So as we are developing faith in Krishna, we are at the same time giving up our faith in other things, giving up our faith in the benefit of material activities, giving up our faith in the benefit of impersonal liberation, understanding that all these things initially may look very attractive, but then they're temporary in nature. And they're asasvatam, they are asat, or not durable, and therefore they're dukkhaliyam. Therefore the entire material world is described as dukkhalayam asasvatam, because everything is temporary. First of all, the happiness comes in very small quantity, and then it doesn't last. So even while you're having it, you're frustrated that it's not enough. And then it's gone after a while, which is also, even although it wasn't much happiness, still we became attached. Because it is our nature to be attached. And why is that so? Why is it our nature to be attached? It is so that Lord Krishna is described as the source of his own bliss. But we are always dependent for our happiness on an external source. Of course, that external source is Krishna. Real happiness is only found in Krishna. But if due to the illusory energy, we think that happiness can be found in any other object, in any other sense object, visai, yes, then we will suffer. Because happiness will not be found there. First of all, whatever we get will be never enough, and it will last only too short. Only too short. Life itself in the material world is only too short. This planet is in the middle of the universe, in the central area, and it is referred to as Mrityu Loka. So why is our planet particularly known as Mrityu Loka? Why? Because when the residents of the higher planetary systems look down upon this planet, they look upon us as creatures that just live so short. So short. What's the point? What's even the point? To have so much hope, to invest all that hope for satisfaction in the tiny little life. What is the point? Just as here in Bengal, you have unlimited insects. It's incredible how many species of insects there are in Mayapur, especially in the rainy season. And sometimes there is a certain type of fly that comes in the night and covers the lights. And you just see all the lights are just covered in them. And they come in the beginning of the night, and in the morning, all dead ho gaya. Right? What can we say? All finished. Right? And that life is so short. Such a short life. We're looking at those insects and thinking that, my God, was it worth living? Was it worth it? You know? It's one, and it is described that the experience of those insects is similar to ours, that they come into being, they grow, they flourish, they give up some byproducts, then they are dwindling, and then they cease to exist. The Sat Avikar, the 6 transformations of material existence. And we go through the same thing. And the Devatas and other celestial beings look upon us as, my God, how short they live. Right? So short. And they're trying to fulfill all these desires. Impossible. They don't have enough time for that. And besides that, it's not possible to fulfill the desires in the material world, right? Because you never get enough anyway. But besides that, look at the list of desires and look at the time that is there to fulfill them. It's not going to work. And then the time is short, but then it is even shorter because a good portion of the time you're just too young. You're too young for everything. Right? Always too young. It's an extremely annoying period of your life that you're always too young for everything. Right? And then finally you're sort of old enough. My grandmother used to say, if you can peel an apple in one time, in one go, without breaking the peel, then you're ready to get married. Anyway, grandmother's wisdom. Right? What to do with that, right? But it is difficult. It is not easy. I mean, as a kid, you just don't get it together. It takes practice. After a while, you can do it. So, first too young, and then how many years of life are we too old? When does old age start? At 17? I don't know exactly when it starts, but because it creeps on you. But you'll be surprised that at one stage we're old, and we're aging fast, right? At something at 40, I'm old. Others say life starts at 40. At 50, well, supposed to have wisdom, right? At 60, you can still fake it, right? At 70, everybody knows it. You're losing it. You're losing it fast, right? That's the situation, right? So what can be said? Time is very short. So it is illusion to make our happiness dependent upon the material energy. That is illusion. Our happiness depends on Krishna. And the more we invest into that relationship with Krishna, the more we develop satisfaction within the heart. Not just by gaining knowledge, but when we are not by gaining knowledge about the nature of the cosmic manifestation. That cannot satisfy the heart. But when we realize that cosmic manifestation is related to Krishna, then it can satisfy the heart. Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was saying that I've studied the Nyaya philosophy. I've studied the atomic theory of Kanana. I have studied all varieties of philosophy, but in none of these I could find satisfaction. I found that only Krishna could attract my heart. There's also a verse in Chaitanya Charitamrita from a disciple of Madhavendra Puri named Raghupati Upajjhaya. And Raghupati Upajjhaya says, Shrutim itare smitim itare bharatam anye bhajanta bhavabita aham iham nanda vande yasya linda param brahma. He is saying that some are worshipping the Shruti and others are following the Smriti. Again, others are following the Mahabharata. But they're all worshipping out of fear. Out of fear. They think, if I am not religious, what will happen? This material energy is very heavy. Suddenly something can happen. Therefore, let me worship, let me ring bells, let me offer incense, let me offer lambs, let me offer fruits, let me offer flowers, let me bring all these things, even some gold, not too much, little, so that nothing may happen, that everything will be fine. Oh yes, and we are worshipping and thinking that we do not want to take another birth. Bhagavad Gita has said, Swalpam asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. The mahato bhayat, the most danger, the type of fear, the greatest type of fear, that we will again take birth in this material world. Let me do puja, ting, let me worship, let me read these scriptures, Sruti, Smriti, the Mahabharata, and all the itihasas, and let me follow them. Let me live by the scripture. because I do not want another birth. Fear, only fear. Then Raghupati Upadhyaya said, but I am worshipping Nanda Maharaj because in the courtyard of his house, the supreme absolute truth is playing like a child. Aham iyam nanda vande yasya linda param brahma. So that is very nice. That the supreme absolute is playing like a child. And this is what interests Krishna. When the cowherd boys are calling Krishna a cheater and so on, then Krishna, he likes that much more than all the prayers of all the brahmanas. Those personal dealings, that is what is attracting Krishna. As we are studying in Nectar of Devotion, devotional service is Sri Krishna Akarsani. It can attract Krishna. That is our interest. And Krishna attracts us. Krishna is Bhagavan. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are different meanings to the word Bhagavan. Bhagavan, one who is the possessor of all opulences. Jiva Goswami gives another meaning of the word Bhagavan. He says Ba means bhajaniya. Ga stands for guna. And Va for Vasista. Bhajaniya guna Vasista. Which means Krishna is so attractive, he's irresistible. You have to worship him. So, bhajaniya guna Vasista. And that is how it works for us. We are not great yogis. We are not great philosophers. We are not great tapasvis. How much austerity can we perform? In the heat, sit in a ring of fire and meditate on the Supreme Lord? In the heat, in the sun, in a ring of fire. Can we do it? 1 minute, maybe. Sit in cold water. Sit in cold water in the winter, up to the neck and meditate on the Lord. I can't do it. I remember I was in a Kumbh Mela in Haridwar and the water was ice. And we had to take bath there. And I didn't know that I had the power to fly. But I did. I did. I jumped in that water and I flew out. I flew. It's like, it's amazing. Amazing. Mystic power. By this process of bhakti yoga, so many things are being revealed. So many qualities are coming out, as it says here. Yes, yasti bhakti bhagavati akinchanas. Maybe even that we can fly. That may be possible. But austerity, that's not my cup of tea. I don't particularly like austerity, not attracted to it. I hate fasting, personally. Right? It's some people, they love fasting. Whenever there's an opportunity, they'll fast. But I myself, I never kind of liked fasting. Rather the opposite. I like eating. So, what can I say? But somehow or other this movement is so potent that it can purify such lusty tendencies and just turn those propensities into honoring prasadam. Only prasadam. And one loses taste for anything but prasadam. And then it is all perfect. So, therefore, Krishna consciousness is awakening knowledge within our heart. Not only philosophical knowledge about the cosmic manifestation but it is awakening knowledge directly of Krishna and knowledge of devotional service. And that knowledge is knowledge which will satisfy the heart. And that is the knowledge which will bring us to the point of desiring more and more and more. And in this way. And that is the knowledge that will make us amrita, immortal. And then that knowledge is nectar. So in this way, we are experiencing devotional service. And how, in devotional service, our natural taste for serving Krishna is growing day by day, because we're discovering Krishna's wonderful qualities. In the Adi Lila Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 4, there is a description about how the qualities of Krishna are unlimited, and how the love of Srimati Radharani is embracing the qualities of Krishna. And then she discovers a quality that she didn't know before, and she loves that also. And this is Krishna consciousness. That is actually Krishna consciousness. Discovering the qualities of Krishna, then awakening one's love for these qualities of Krishna, and then discovering more and more qualities of Krishna. And this is how our spiritual life continues, and how love for Krishna is therefore growing eternally. Because there's always a new quality of Krishna to discover and to love as well. And in this way, we are very happily discussing Srimad Bhagavatam, because the essence of Srimad Bhagavatam is Krishna. All the descriptions of the other avatars and their pastimes are simply in the service of revealing Krishna. Of revealing Krishna and his nature and his unique position as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Therefore, Srimad Bhagavatam is only describing pure devotional service to Krishna. And in that way, therefore it is said, Srimad Bhagavatam is 1% for learning, for awakening, and 99% for relishing. It is for relishing. It is particularly for relishing. Because Krishna is most relishable. And that is why Bhagavatam is the central text of this movement, and why Srimad Bhagavatam was Sanatana Goswami's constant companion. When Sanatana Goswami, so it is described in Bhakti Ratnakar, one second, this is stretch my leg. Oh. When Sanatana Goswami was a young man, he had a dream. And in that dream, a Brahmana appeared, came to his house with a manuscript of Srimad Bhagavatam. Now that was something special, because in those days there was no printing press. Everything was copied by hand by some Brahmanas who would take a manuscript, copy it, and then would give it to someone who would give a donation, and in this way they could maintain. But then, if you would do a Bhagavad Gita, all right, that was 750 verses, right? But if you would do like 18,000 verses of Bhagavatam, that was a serious job, right? To copy a Bhagavatam. So therefore there were not so many manuscripts of the Bhagavatam around. Therefore, when Sanatana Goswami got a copy of the Bhagavatam, a personal copy, many of the books were kept in temples, and one could go there, and these temples would maintain natashalas. Natashalas were places where manuscripts were kept. We know about Kanai Natashala, a place where Lord Chaitanya met with Rupa and Sanatan. So a Natashala was a place where many manuscripts were being kept. And so Sanatan got his personal copy of the Bhagavatam. So that was something in his dream. Then he wakes up, so, oh, it was only a dream. Imagine. Then later that day, that very same Brahmana came and gave him the Bhagavatam. So then Sanatana Goswami was most ecstatic, and it says then in Krishna Stavamala that Bhagavatam became his constant companion. So he was always, that doesn't mean that he was always reading Bhagavatam. Sometimes he was taking bath. I mean, it wasn't waterproof, right? It was simply that he was absorbed. He was living the Bhagavatam. No longer was he just reading the Bhagavatam, he was living the Bhagavatam. And by living the Bhagavatam, Krishna will be in our heart always. And therefore we are daily gathering for these discussions on Srimad Bhagavatam, in the hope that that Bhagavatam will become our constant companion. And Bhagavatam is the literary incarnation of Krishna. Thank you. I'll end with that. Any questions? Any comments? Yes. Mic. There is a mic right next to me, but someone has to run. Yeah. I don't know how you turn it on. I have no idea. It's not on. You have to turn it on, and I have no idea how to do it.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Maharaj, I didn't understand why the earth is called as Mrityu Loka.
You didn't understand it?
Yes.
Because life is so short here. And everyone's dying. And the demigods are looking down and they're seeing they're dying like flies. It is all one after the other. Boom. You know, they are so small. They're kids. And next moment they're already adults. And then you just look the other direction and they're old. They're old. And before you know it, they're lying dead on the ground. That's why this is Mrityu Loka. Planet of death. Life is so short. You may think, oh, I have a whole life ahead of me. I tell you, it's nothing. It will be finished in a snap. But if you use that life for devotional service, then you become transcendental. Then you'll get eternal benefit. Then you'll have a lot of time. So that's the only hope. But if you think, let me have some sense gratification. Such vacations, forget it. No sense gratification. Just devotional service. So for now, stay in Mayapur as long as you can. And then when you're big and strong, then you can go out and preach in every town and village. Mrityu Loka, life is so short. Planet of death. Other question?
Yes, Maharaj.
I hear you but don't see
I'm
you.
here. You spoke so wonderfully about the difference between reading Srimad Bhagavatam and living Srimad Bhagavatam. Can you please elaborate more about living Srimad Bhagavatam?
Living Srimad Bhagavatam. Well, living Srimad Bhagavatam means that whenever we read something in Bhagavatam, that we make an adjustment to align ourselves with Srimad Bhagavatam, with the injunctions of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And by doing that, by making that alignment, initially it's only external. Initially it's only our behavior that is adjusted. But by adjusting that behavior, our consciousness also becomes adjusted and will be always absorbed in Krishna. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says that he comments on the verse Nikamakalpatara Galitam Phalam Sukhamukatam Dritadrava Samyutam Pibata Bhagavatam Rasamalayam Ahura Ahura Sikha Bhuvi Bhavukaha. He is saying that this Bhagavatam is the ripened fruit of Vedic knowledge, and one should drink it through the ears. Pibata Bhagavatam Rasam Alayam. Then drink this nectar through the ears. Then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, he breaks up the word Rasamalayam and he cuts laya off. And laya is one of the ecstatic symptoms, fainting. So he says you should hear Srimad Bhagavatam until you faint. And then you cannot hear Bhagavatam anymore. But then when you come back to your senses, then you should hear it again until you faint again. That's how we should hear. Then when we hear in such a way, and I guess the fainting was not because of exhaustion, right? That the class was going on for 12 hours and someone fainted. No, it is more because of appreciation for Krishna. So yes, we are discovering Krishna's amazing qualities. At least we can begin to appreciate. Radharani could love. Maybe we cannot love yet, but let's begin and appreciate. Krishna is actually nice. He is. He's nice. He's actually nice. Plays a mean flute, so I heard. Pretty good. Yeah. Dresses quite elegantly as well. And just in general is not only a very nice person in the way he looks, but has a noble heart, which is something wonderful. So let us find out more about Krishna, and what better source than Srimad Bhagavatam. Now the Acharyas have written many books which expand on the Bhagavatam. Like for example, you read Jiva Goswami's Gopal Champu, and then he comments on verses of the Bhagavatam, and then he adds a little bit. Or you see the purports on the commentary from Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and then sometimes there are discussions between Krishna and various devotees that are not found in the verses of the Bhagavatam. So the Acharyas, they go so deep into the Bhagavatam that they even expand on the Bhagavatam. So that's also Bhagavatam. That's also Bhagavatam. So, depending on our natures, some people are very simple and just take a few verses and really take them to heart and live them. And that is how they live the Bhagavatam. Others, they are avid readers and they devour any text they can, and they'll read all the commentaries and this and that, and and their minds are very complicated, and they have to engage these complicated minds in every aspect in the service of Krishna. But of course that's a great opulence if you know many things about Krishna. So in this way, somehow or other, we try to become absorbed in glorifying and remembering Krishna. Prabhupada gives one lecture where one devotee is asking, is Joan of Arc also in the Bhagavatam? And Prabhupada says, Joan of Arc? Also in the Bhagavatam? Joan of Arc, if you don't know, is a Christian saint. Anyway, and then Prabhupada says, yes, she's also in the Bhagavatam, because the life of saintly personalities is also Bhagavatam. Applying this then we understand that the Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita is also Bhagavatam. And even descriptions about all Prabhupada's followers and how they are preaching, that's also Bhagavatam. So Bhagavatam goes in all directions. It's an ocean, the Bhagavatam. Jump in. Don't come out. Okay, thank you very much. Finished. Okay, last. Yeah? Wave with your hand so the microphone reaches you. Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
In the previous shloka, I was reading that intelligent transcendentalists,
Intelligent transcendentalists.
they take shelter of Krishna.
You didn't read it in the sloka. Maybe in the purport. You didn't read it in the sloka, no?
Because it is said there.
Because it's not written in the sloka.
In the purport.
Okay.
Because it is said that Krishna is most powerful, and so the intelligent transcendentalists take shelter to Krishna's lotus feet. So how do we become transcendentalist and also intelligent?
Dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamupayantite. Krishna gives us intelligence. So intelligence is not something we are born with. Intelligence is something we are receiving by serving the lotus feet of the pure devotee. Then Krishna will give us intelligence.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.